Okay, my name is Jannat Chaudhry. I'm a senior at Kent Place School. So I grew up in a middle-class family in Union, which is a very diverse town. And I've also experienced going to the public school system and the private school system. So I've experienced being in a classroom where my classmates sitting right next to me couldn't afford the same, let's say, pencil case as me. And I've been in the opposite situation where I can't afford the same pencil case as the person sitting next to me. And even outside of the classroom, I've noticed shoes or even the restaurants that people eat at, they're all very different because of your income or your wealth. And as a young child, I never understood why this was. And as I'm growing up, it's not even just as little as a pencil case or the food you're eating. It starts becoming the college that you go to, the jobs that you have, and the houses that you live in, the neighborhoods that you live in. So that's why as I'm growing up and seeing how big this issue becomes, I think that it's something that, why don't people talk about it, you know? I feel like it's something that needs to be brought to attention. Economic injustice relates to education because education, I think this is really funny because education is supposed to be the solution to the problem. Kids growing up in these communities are told, go to school, go to college, get a good job, get out. But how are they supposed to get out when the school system is failing them? They're not getting the right education in these schools to go to good colleges. They aren't going to good colleges that have high graduation rates for them to get those degrees. So why aren't we focusing on the problem, on the solution? Let's focus on the education. Let's give them a good education so that the children that do want to get out, the children that do want greater opportunities, have the resources to do so. This affects people in their day-to-day life because of the communities that they live in. How are people supposed to feel as though they are given all the resources when they see their neighboring towns having better restaurants, better schools? If people are seeing there's that difference, they're going to start thinking their community is less than. And so we need to create a very communal sense of everyone is invited everywhere. And so people don't feel stuck in their little communities. Like I said before, I come from a diverse place where I know people on a range of this issue, and you would think that a person who comes from a lower class place would be aware of this issue, more so than a person that comes from an upper class, but unfortunately that's not the case because they don't even know what they're missing out on. Some of them don't even get to leave their communities to the point where they see how much more is out there. So they're stuck and they don't see much more to work towards. And I actually think that people from the upper class actually know more about this issue because they have the education to realize that this is an issue.
So why is it sometimes pushed to the side?
I think it's pushed to the side because unfortunately, this problem does not have a solution. And Americans hate to hear that there's a problem without a solution. And we don't need to solve this problem. People don't realize that we just need to bring light that this is an issue, even though we know that we can never make a perfect society. Even a utopian society isn't perfect. I'm not talking about equality for all. I'm just talking about acknowledging that people come from different places, and let's acknowledge it at least instead of trying to solve it. I think on an individual level, we should, first of all, not take anything for granted. And I think that we should be more thankful, and we should acknowledge the privilege that we come from, and we should try our best to bring the same opportunities to people who are less fortunate than us. And unfortunately, it does sound like it's people that have privilege. It's not their responsibility to help others, but I think that if you can, it'll make the world a better place for future generations to come. And if you do care for that, then I feel like you should help your neighbors out.